Do you want to share any words of parting for 2023?
No.
I almost choked. I got nothing.
No.
I'm sorry. That is so great. That sums up our co-hosting. I'm bright red. That is like perfection. Perfect ending.
Well, the reason. Okay, I'm going to tell you the reason why. The reason why.
Got nothing. I don't give a shit. Have a great year. I don't care about anything.
Welcome to the podcast where we talk about cannabis.
Community violation. Code Green Plant.
So when your best friend says you need to have a disclaimer in the beginning of your podcast because the lawyer in her is screaming, you do it. Here's my disclaimer. I am not a doctor. I am not a therapist. I am not even an expert. I am you. I am bringing information to you as I see it. But don't take my advice. Make your own choices and make them good choices. On with the show. Welcome to Code Green Plant. I'm your host, Christy Chanel, and I am here with Phoebe.
Hello, Christy. Hello, everybody.
Hello, hello.
Hello.
So we are reaching the end of 2023. It's kind of crazy. I feel like I've blinked my eyes and it was over, you know?
Yes.
It doesn't.
Speeding up. Every year seems to be going faster and faster.
Is that age that's doing that? Or you know?
It is actually. Yeah. It's like I've heard a study on it and it is age. Mm-hmm.
What study did you hear? Because I just feel like my 20s took forever.
So what it is because you have, we've lived so many years now that they just seem shorter. Whereas when you're younger, you haven't lived that many. So 1 year feels long when you've only lived 4 years, or when you've only lived 15 years, 1 year feels like a lot. But once you've lived out 40, 50 years, 1 year is a small fraction of how long you've lived. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So when you're 20, 1 year is, what is that, 10% of your life? It's 5%. But at this point, it's a decimal, of our life. So.
Yeah, I guess that's why. Because I mean, 20s did feel like it was forever. And so did my teenage years. Yeah. Yeah.
When you're young, that's what it is. When you're a kid, you haven't lived many, so that every year just feels like, oh my God, it's so long.
Yeah. Well, this year wasn't that long at all. What would you say that your favorite part of 2023 was?
It's been a good year for my marriage. That was my favorite part of 2023.
Okay.
We worked hard on it. We worked on our communication, and it worked well for us. So I'm happy about that. What about you?
I would say starting a podcast for me, because I had been thinking about it for so long, but I just didn't. I don't want to say I didn't believe in myself, but I didn't maybe believe in myself. Yeah, I didn't know that I could really talk that long.
Yeah.
But I think I'm better at it than I thought I would be. And so I think learning about that, learning how to edit, just learning the whole podcast world. And I think that it's enriched my life, and I love it. I think that's my favorite part, is venturing out and trying something new.
That's great.
That I never did.
It's something you've wanted to do. So it's awesome you're doing it and learning, and learning a new trade is what you're doing.
Yeah. I mean, and eventually, if I keep studying, I have a lot more studying to do. I think I can do some really cool things, but everything's changing, just like it changes in the tech world, it changes in the podcast world and the marketing world, and it's always changing. So you constantly have to keep up with the trends of how it's going, on social media and stuff, because you want people to hear it. It's fun to put it out, but if nobody knows about it, there's nothing you can do. And I think that really is the hard part, is to just let people know you're there, because they have no idea.
Yeah.
And so I would say maybe one day when I can afford it, I get an expert to help me figure that out, because they're going to know about us, Phoebe. It's just going to take some time.
That's
They're going to
okay.
find us.
It does.
Yeah.
It takes time to build good things, to build strong foundations, and it takes time. So that's okay. We're learning as we go and get better every episode. So for me, I'm lucky. I just have to show up. I might have to do a little prep work, but I show up. But you, on the other hand, do a lot of work and, and have learned a lot and really are, focused. And like I said, you're learning a new trade. You could market it somehow one day, produce somebody else's podcast. So.
Yeah, and I think you just have to love it to really not find it like work, It's not. It's when I don't have one to edit that I feel like
really
empty inside. Yeah, it's like not having a boyfriend. You know what?
Oh.
Where's I need that cushion, that padding, because then I know I could play and I could work. And it's like whenever you have a hobby and you want to, whether it's knitting or sewing or painting or whatever, whenever you don't have the tools to be able to do that, it's like, dang it, I need to get that. I need to go out and get to the store.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I didn't know that you felt like that.
I do. I have comfort when I have like a lot to edit.
Okay. That's good.
I'm a little crazy.
No, that's awesome. That just means you are doing the right thing then.
Mm-hmm. I don't know if you heard
it,
on any of the episodes, but remember when we talked about burning topics?
Uh-huh.
I don't know if you've listened or not, but I made a burning...
I have.
So you heard it, how it went, burning topics.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
And isn't there like a little crackle in there?
Yeah.
Or am I tripping?
Yeah. No.
Yeah, I heard it.
Mm-hmm. I added a little fire crackle. And then in the video portion, you see it and it's like fire around us. So I'm thinking that we should do another burning topic. So here is burning topics. Do you have a burning topic?
I have a burning topic. Well, I should say when I first heard about it, I thought it was going to be burning. And then I was like, a little anticlimactic, but it'll still work. It's still news.
What?
Biden pardons thousands convicted of marijuana charges on federal lands and in Washington. Was that your burning topic?
Yes, heck yeah, because it's so big. It is. You say anticlimactic, but it's not. Not if you're the one in jail.
But no, it says that a lot of people, it's not going to get a lot of people out of jail. It just reforms some other laws to maybe limit who is going.
Can I play a little clip of what they say?
Yeah, let's see. Yeah, because I heard other things. So let's see what you heard.
Just issued a sweeping pardon for thousands of people convicted of marijuana possession or use in D.C. and on federal lands. He also commuted the sentences of 11 people serving time for nonviolent drug charges, including some who were serving life sentences for crimes the White House says would be eligible for significantly lower sentences if they were charged today. NBC's Aaron Gilchrist joins us now from the White House. Aaron, good morning. So what specifically is included in this?
The president says that this is an effort to uphold the values of redemption and rehabilitation, and that is why he is shortening these sentences. Some people will be released from prison next year. Others will serve significantly less than life in prison, if you will. The other piece of this action today by the president is this really a blanket pardon for certain marijuana offenses as it relates to D.C. law and federal law. We're talking about simple possession of marijuana, attempted simple possession of marijuana, and use of marijuana. And this is what the president has described as a full, complete, and unconditional pardon for all of these offenses. So we can expect to see the DOJ and other agencies, prosecution offices looking at cases now across the country and releasing some of these people who've been convicted of these.
So that was from MSNBC reporting.
Okay.
So I think that sounds like damn good news for especially a lot of families that are suffering because they can't, it's not over yet.
Yeah.
This is definitely not the end of the road for this. But it's a start.
It's a start. Yeah, I mean, it sucks, but we have to just take what little breadcrumbs we're getting. Because I hear pardon and I think people are going to get released. And it's like, no, their sentences were reduced. So they're going to serve less time for something that's legal now. What? I don't know. I just wish there was more Maybe I'm missing something. Maybe there's some on the back end. Maybe people they're in prison for reasons outside of marijuana, but I don't think so. It sounded like they're just going to reduce sentences of people convicted of crimes related to marijuana, and I just feel like they should be out now. Like they should just be.
Yeah. I mean, it's never made sense for them to be there in the first place. So,
yeah. So I appreciate the gesture. I appreciate that it's less, and that's good. It's a start, but it's like, why do they have to wait a year or just reduce sentences?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, I agree with you. And it's coming right at the end of 2023. So you see the writing on the wall here, right?
Yeah, and it has to do with the election coming up. So he's trying to do some, moves, bold moves. But to me, it's like not enough.
No, and it's
too little, too late.
And they still haven't changed the Schedule 1.
No, or even talked about it. No, yeah, they haven't talked about just making it illegal on a federal level. Period. Why is it still? Just make it to where it's not illegal. It doesn't have to be legal. Just make it not illegal. Just some laws. That's what some states do. Is just it's not necessarily legal, but it's no longer illegal. It's no longer a crime to do it.
Right. That right there is a start. Like I said, it's definitely worth something to some people. Hopefully it will gain momentum the closer we get to election, because, it's a hot burning topic for a lot of this election, a lot of the people running. I'm curious to see what they come up with, but it doesn't really mean a hell of a lot to me, even when they say it, until they actually physically do it, And we've seen that happen time and time again, where they say it, but they don't follow through. But what I thought about is actually the things that happened in the world in 2023. OpenAI released ChatGPT-4.
Was that just this year?
It was in March 14th. It says an upgraded version of the popular artificial intelligence chatbot. So, you can go on a website and the chatbot will appear. That's very basic. This is an upgrade, a big time upgrade to be able to do the things that does. So that was in March that happened. Jeffrey Hinton, the godfather of AI, resigned from Google amidst growing concerns over AI. And that was in May. So March, they released something. And then in May, he's like, I'm out.
Yeah, that was a freaky one, man. That's kind of weird when you think about it. That's kind of... everyone should pay attention to that one.
Yeah. And a lot of this is about, it seems to be AI. Then in May, the Writers Guild of America went on strike after a labor dispute, which we all remember that. And they're done now. So they reached an agreement. On May 25th, the FDA gave Elon Musk the go-ahead to trial his Neuralink brain implants on humans.
It's another one of those things. God, wears me out to even think about it.
Why did they give him approval to do that?
They want to.
School me, Phoebe. School me.
I'm torn because it's like it's hard to say I want to limit science, but then there's some things you just need to limit science on. It's kind of like Oppenheimer. Like, we've said it in other episodes. We said it about AI. I think this is the same thing.
Yeah,
we were so busy thinking about could we do it, we didn't stop to think about should we do it.
Mm-hmm. Well,
Neuralink could lead to. Do you know much about it?
Mm-mm.
Oh, so it could lead to basically me being able to read your mind. And that is unacceptable.
Don't go there.
It is. That's or the computer to be able to. Like, yeah, it's connecting your mind directly to the computer. So when you think like right now we have to go to Google and be like, when we want to look up something, you'll be able to think about it and it should just pop into your head somehow. Neuralink goes into your head. But I believe so far the trials have shown that people, oh no, never mind.
What?
I was getting confused. Right. Wait, that about trials show people, because I was about to say trials show people can die instantly from it. But I might be confusing that piece with the Black Mirror episode, which is actually, it's not okay when you confuse real life with Black Mirror.
No, but it's becoming very crossed,
Mm-hmm.
Especially because there's a movie out
it's
now,
definitely,
too.
That's what Neuralink is, though. It's connecting straight in there.
Okay, so...
And think about the possibilities. That's scary.
the irony here is that Elon Musk said it's way too dangerous and they wanted to put a pause. He asked for a pause on AI until they were able to figure out some security measures. And yet
Mm-hmm.
he's saying to go ahead with this Neuralink thing. So that's the same type of thing. So how can he put one on hold? Like, where's the gain here? I'm trying to figure out how one is okay and one is not okay. It doesn't make any sense to me.
I don't know. Maybe he's it's because he's wanting to focus on how it could help people with medical problems, but it can do way more than that. So.
It always starts
Its
out as
goal,
good.
right? Its goal with its human trials is to eventually enable a person with paralysis to use a computer or phone with their brain activity alone.
Oh, see, now that warms my heart a little bit. That somebody...
It does, but it won't stop there. Like you said,
No.
It's not going to stop there.
No.
Because if you can talk to a phone with just your mind, that phone's reading your mind.
Yes.
That's just...
Yes. And then think about this. If the computer can read your mind, it would be able to stop future terrorists and all of those things, but also it could make a mistake because sometimes random thoughts come into people's minds where they actually wouldn't pursue it. But, you think about, man, I'll cheat on my husband, and he may not do it,
wouldn't know
but
the
you
difference.
think it. Yeah. And then you're arrested.
Or how could it tell if you're having a memory or just a daydream or, imagining, people think really weird, sick thoughts. Sometimes they just pop in your head. You can't control them. Mm-hmm. How would it tell if it's a memory or just an imaginary thought?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And like, what, the thoughts
I don't know.
You have, like,
there's just
if I
too
died,
many implications there.
Yeah, like if I died, I wonder, blah, 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 blah. Then all of a sudden they commit you to, a hospital and you're, because they're afraid you're going to kill yourself. When it's just not. It's not. Your mind has to think these things so it knows which direction you should actually be in. So it's like you span the whole width of the issue or the problem or whatever you're thinking about so that you can make it back to the one that works. So that's all scary. Then we have Donald Trump became the first former U.S. president to have their mugshot taken.
So embarrassing.
Congratulations to Donald Trump. That's the first time a president has ever had their mugshot.
Yay!
He beat me to it. Woo woo!
You silly.
Israel formally declared war on Hamas following a surprise attack by Hamas operatives in Israel-controlled territory. We know about that one. Some famous deaths in 2023. We have Tina Turner, Matthew Perry, Lisa Marie Presley. So those are the three that were, I think, the biggest. Album of the year was Harry Styles, Harry's House. Song of the year is Bonnie Raitt, Just Like That. Yeah. So those are some of the things that I pulled up when it came to things that happened
Christy,
in the year.
You brought the doom and gloom. So yeah, let's shake off the bad stuff in 2023. We heard it first. We knew it happened. We lived through it.
Mm-hmm.
But what else? What do we have right now for 2023? We entered a golden age of medicine, they say. Medical revolution was a major theme in 2023. We're seeing a pace of progress that has not been witnessed for 100 years.
Okay. I didn't know that.
Yeah. There's a clear pathway to ending AIDS transmission by 2030. So we're getting close to the end of the world's deadliest pandemic.
Hell yeah.
Yep. A lot of countries eliminated deadly diseases with the use of vaccines. Let's see, who did? Bangladesh became the first country to eliminate visceral leishmaniasis, a life-threatening illness caused by a parasite, as a public health problem. The end of Alzheimer's is getting closer. There was a lot of strides related to that this year. That's major cancer breakthroughs. New cervical cancer treatment using cheap existing drugs was described as the biggest improvement in outcome in this disease in over 20 years.
Cheap and existing drugs?
Yes. That's wild and a big improvement.
Okay.
Also, another big breakthrough in treating prostate cancer and a new drug that just got approved that's been shown to prevent breast cancer.
Wow, they're all huge. They're
Right.
all huge.
Yep. And they're starting to get closer to understanding aging and how we can slow aging.
Okay. I mean, is
Um,
that good or bad? I'm not really sure.
I don't know. I mean, slow aging, hopefully that could help people live longer, but
Isn't
unless we
it?
start improving things in our world, I don't know if living longer is a good thing. And
I
then
know.
we talked about the bad things, and I do have some, climate reparations became a reality, so that's not a good thing, but
Mm-mm.
that just means people are starting to pay a little more attention. So Ecuador voted to just stop oil use.
That's a
Some
big deal.
60% of voters said no to oil exploration. And, we don't hardly ever say no here. It's constant.
They're never going to say no to oil here,
Mm-mm.
ever. When we're in Texas too. I mean, I'm kind of wanting to hear about this aging thing. I think it's probably something that the famous top 1% already know about, and I bet you it has to do with the placenta blood or something.
Um, it says let's see, contributing to a growing body of research, they nailed down 8 healthy lifestyle habits that could add up to 24 years to your life. So
So
it's
it's just
probably stuff we already
habits?
knew. Yeah.
That doesn't sound
Mm,
groundbreaking.
they sure listed it here. Positive news. Yeah. They're reaching maybe, but I'll take all the other ones, the other positive things. So even
Sure.
though we have a lot of doom and gloom, we are making some strides in some medicine and other areas that does help.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would completely agree with that.
All right, so let's talk about the good stuff with cannabis you mentioned.
Yeah, so I was kind of excited when I went to look up. I was like, let's just see the strides that we've made in cannabis in 2023. And there were 3 states that legalized recreational this year, and it was Ohio, Minnesota, and Delaware. I pulled up an article. It is a look at cannabis in 2023 from Forbes. Perhaps the most groundbreaking development comes from the Buckeye State. In November, Ohio voters chose to legalize cannabis, becoming the 24th state to approve its adult use. This is notable considering Ohio had previously rejected a similar ballot measure as recently as 2015. Internationally, European countries are also proceeding closer to cannabis legalization. Germany could soon become the largest EU country to decriminalize cannabis for adults with a Bundestag vote. Bundestag.
Wow.
Yeah, expected as early as this December. So it could be happening right now behind the scenes. Netherlands announced plans to launch a pilot program in December, testing out the legal sale of cannabis. So, Netherlands. And that's a country that has listened, and so is Germany. So, that's cool because they're probably
Yeah,
like,
that
okay, what's
is.
happening? What's going to happen for us? We
Yeah,
haven't been
that's
really
awesome.
sharing any groundbreaking news, but yeah. Let us know if you're listening from there how it's going and what it looks like from your end. Another win for the cannabis industry this year, X, formerly known as Twitter, became the first major social media platform to allow cannabis ads, giving industry advertisers access to a wider audience, which is super important because every other place we get banned and taken down. So at least there's a spot, except for it's very expensive.
Oh,
So,
I can imagine. I
uh
bet.
huh.
Ooh.
Yeah, and you have to fit into certain parameters. I mean, obviously it has to be legal in your state, even if you're just selling it online in
Mhm.
marketing. Looking ahead in 2024, the upcoming election season provides voters with a fresh opportunity to change the policy landscape for the cannabis industry. There's already talks of Florida, our nation's third most populous state, conducting its own cannabis ballot measure. With a presidential election around the corner, candidates might also make promises about adult use legalization. If 2023 is any indication, a year is plenty of time for major policy shifts. So,
Hmm.
yeah. So, I mean, I think it is probably a small amount of progress. But if you think about it as a whole, 3 states legalize recreational, and the president is starting to come out as, I see what's happening. I want to try to kind of do something I can do that's within my parameters, because my understanding is from Shannon, who was a guest on the show, that they can't legalize until they have a way to test for it for impairment when you're driving and other situations. So to make it safer for everybody on the road that may not consume, they have to have a way to test for it. So that's my understanding.
I wonder how much money or research they're putting into trying to find something to do that.
I think they have found something, but right now it's not within the range of error. It's too far out of it. It's close. They're getting closer. But as soon as it goes into the margin of error that's acceptable, I think it's going to legalize federally.
That's interesting. Okay. So that's good stuff.
We'll see it coming.
I was going to say, did you hear this other cool thing? And it's not on like a 2023. Are you still do you have more cannabis good news though? I didn't want to go to something else. Okay. But this is something else I just read today that's not related to cannabis, but it's definitely Biden signed a defense bill that requires psychedelic studies involving active duty military service members. I think that's pretty cool.
Okay, so he's going to allow military members to test mushrooms or stuff like that for research,
PTSD? For them to research, for how psychedelics helps with severe PTSD, stress disorder, or traumatic brain injury.
I think that's fantastic.
Yeah, so they're taking participants that would want to participate in clinical trials involving psilocybin, MDMA, ibogaine, I don't know that one, ibogaine, and 5-MeO-DMT. So dimethyltryptamine, I think.
You're speaking a foreign language, but that's okay because we haven't studied in the psychedelic world, even though I hear it's absolutely groundbreaking and there is definite proof of how it can help your brain chemistry deal with stuff like PTSD. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's pretty cool.
I do too. And I think anybody needs it, it's military.
Yeah, I'm trying to find alternatives to the pharmaceuticals that they're, have so many adverse effects. Anything that's a little more natural and organic and is just as helpful. I think it's great that we're doing more research to see how it could benefit people.
Yeah, I completely agree. So that is some good news. So, it's not all doom and gloom.
No, we feel like it. Everyone wants to say it is, and it's horrible now, but it's actually, no, we're living in a pretty safe time and things are, we have good areas and bad. We are. Are you one of the Christy?
What?
Chanel.
What?
Are you surely not on Neighborhood app? Are you on do you know the Neighborhood app? Okay. And do you know how people will post things just like, oh, someone stole my I don't know, whatever. And then people or oh no, this is a big one. This is the biggest one I see all the time. Someone rang my doorbell at 9 at night and and then everyone's like, no way, you're just looking for trouble. Like, are you looking to get murdered? That's how people responded. I'm like, what world do y'all live in where you think everyone that rings your doorbell wants to murder you?
Yeah, but mine, and I'm in a very nice, good neighborhood. It says, did you hear the gunshots? It's all I hear on my neighborhood.
I see that a lot too.
Did you hear those gunshots? There's like 5 of them.
A lot of people that's just like someone, even if it's like 3 PM and everyone just dog piles like, you better not open that door. Like, oh my God, what? We're literally, so I was just wondering, are you the doom and gloom type that thinks like that thinks like, oh my God, things are horrible now and it's just so bad out there and this is the worst it's ever been.
No.
And I like to get on there and be like, actually statistics show.
Do you fight back? Do you fight back in the neighborhood?
If I'm in the mood, I'll just drop a little gem. Like, I'll just drop a little, like, science on them. Because, I like my statistics and science.
I know.
And it's like, statistically speaking, this is the safest time in modern history. But no, go ahead and go get your guns and be scared and lock your doors and sit there with your gun. And that's what they're always like. I'd only open if I had my gun. Like, oh, my God.
I'm not going to tell people, but I don't have a gun yet. but I don't have a gun. But I will
I-
tell you that
Nothing
I'm
wrong
not
with
the
a
one.
gun.
I don't go back and forth with neighborhood app. All I see is gunshots.
Gunshots.
And I'm like, well, is everybody shooting their gun today in Texas? I mean, it's constant. It's constant. That's it. That's all I see. Stolen package or gunshots. That's all that's popping on my neighborhood app. Okay. Or
I
a
see a
dog
lot.
missing.
I was going to say, I see a lot of lost pets. I see a lot of people asking for help. And then a lot of people
Oh, I don't
posting
see
about
that.
all the people asking for help.
It's like, there's people that are watching that app and they're just like, this is my moment. This is my moment to shine right here. You know what I'm saying? It's like there's like, somebody rang my doorbell. Let me put that on there right now. Man, people are going to help me out right now.
I know.
It's like, who?
That's what it is too.
Who in their right mind would sit there and go, somebody rang my doorbell just now. It's 9:00 at night.
I guarantee I could pull the app up right now, and I'm going to find someone very quickly that posted that recently. They do it all the time, and it's always like, did anyone knock on your door too?
Hold on. I think we need to have a segment called Neighborhood Bullshit. And then we can call it something else. I'm just off the cuff right here. But we have a segment where we read the chaos in the neighborhood app.
That would be fun, because between the neighborhood app, oh no, wait, it's Nextdoor. Between Nextdoor, and then the Ring neighborhood app. Between those two though, because Ring neighborhood also is the one that cracks me up.
It's a giver for sure.
And Ring at least has videos, which makes it even better.
This is true. I definitely think that, and I'm going to put that, well, I mean, I get the neighborhood app too. So if I see something, I'm just going to snapshot it.
Because I just pulled up the Nextdoor app and it's already, I got the wackadoodles coming out. I'm not going to even, I think that'd be a great segment though.
Oh, we have to. In the new year, we are going to have not only burning topics, but we're also going to have, what are we going to name it?
What's happening next door? We'll think about it. Let's think about it.
Okay. But now we definitely have to do it because I think this is going to be a killer. I really do. I think it's going to be really freaking funny. Really, especially if we read it in that voice of that obnoxious neighbor voice. You're never going to believe this. You know what I mean? I think it's going to be great. Because everybody's a Karen in that freaking app. Except for Phoebe. Except for Phoebe, she's just giving stats.
I'm probably a Karen too. I'm a Karen on the other end of the spectrum, like on the other end.
Yeah, you're like, I don't agree with that one.
I'm the Karen that's actually for righteousness, but I will definitely act like a Karen if I need to. I'll get my little cut if I need to. I'll call the manager.
Just probably add fuel to the fire. I need to stay off. I just like to read them.
FBI.gov. How safe is today? No, exactly. I was a sociology major in college, so that was a big part of it, is like study statistics. Like I really excelled in that class. I loved it. That's what I wish I could be, that's what I should have went after. Maybe I will one day.
To be what exactly?
A statistician or a researcher. I'd like to be like a social researcher. That'd be awesome.
Mm-hmm. Really? Mm-hmm. But see, that makes sense because you enjoy problem solving,
Yeah.
And it all kind of fits with that kind of a brain.
Find the root cause.
Yeah. Uh-huh. You
Yeah.
enjoy that.
You want to counsel them. I'll say you want to counsel people, I feel like, help them improve. I just want to find out what's wrong in the first place, I guess.
Yeah. I don't want to know what's wrong. I'm just like, listen, let's just change it. Let's just do something totally different. But yeah, no, I'm more the people counselor person. I couldn't do it full time though. That would be a lot.
I love my research.
I like that. So if you could change anything, or what do you want to accomplish in 2024? Let's put it out there. We have a whole year to accomplish it.
I'm so scared. I am so scared to say it because I feel like when you say it's one of two things can happen. It's like, yeah, it's a way to hold yourself accountable.
Yes.
And you can help hold me accountable and listeners and the whole community. But also, another one of my nerdy science things. So I used to feel like when you talk about things, it's like it lessens the energy. That's like something I've thought myself, like that's kind of my own thing. And this year I literally read a study that said that that's true because talking about things talking about your plans releases the same brain chemicals as actually achieving those, or talking about your goals. You get in the same dopamine effects as achieving them, and it lessens your drive to achieve them because you already feel that. And it matches because that's how it felt. Like it feels like when the more you talk about something you want to do or are doing, it takes the energy out of it, and then you kind of lose it. Have you noticed that? Like, I don't know, maybe you see people on Facebook and they're on this big weight, they weigh a lot and they're on a big weight loss journey, and then all of a sudden that's all they're talking about, and then they get a little quiet, and then a year or two later they gained it all back.
But I just think that has to do more with drive and focus.
I've done it myself, and I think it also has to do with talking about it. Spend more time talking about it than doing it.
Mm-hmm. I agree, but I'm the flip side. Which for me, it's you speak it into existence and you manifest it. I believe in speaking it into the universe and training yourself to think you are that person. That is who you are.
That is a flip side. Manifestation. Talking about it is how you manifest it, right?
Yeah.
It's just tricky on if you're manifesting it or if you're taking the energy out of it by talking about it.
I could see
be careful. Maybe there's a fine line.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, maybe that's it.
Yeah, I could definitely see both. So for me, it would be us manifesting this moment, but it's just something that you want to maybe accomplish or at least step forward into it. That doesn't mean you have to absolutely accomplish it. I mean, it may take longer than a year, and that's okay. But what would you like to try? Do you want to try something new? What are you wanting for your life in 2024? If you could pick anything.
I have to get healthier. That's what I have to do. My health. Mm-hmm. Physically fit. I've gained a lot of weight the past year and a half since I got back on antidepressants. Mm-hmm. And I don't know what else playing into it, but I've had a hard time slowing the weight gain down, and I need to work on getting healthy again.
Okay, so healthy, which is very common.
Very common one. Mm-hmm. So we'll see. That's why I'm hesitant to talk about it because it's so common
But it's okay. I mean, it's actually you're relating. Other people may relate to that. We're like, gosh, man, I understand. Mm-hmm. Medicine makes people gain weight. I think Selena Gomez was out there, and she's got lupus and she's got all these things going on, and she was gaining weight, and people were making fun of her, and it was medicine related. It's like, how are you going to do that to somebody? But unfortunately, it's the curse of being famous.
I know. I'd been gaining so much, and it's like I feel like I think about food a lot more than I should, when I would normally. And I looked up the side effects of the medicine that I've been on, and it said weight gain is a side effect. Where I'm and it said cravings for carbs, those medicines that they can do weird things to you, and so it kind of I'm okay, so it literally is no wonder I'm having a hard time because my brain is saying no, go get that carb or whatever. Exactly. So I got to figure out. I'm gonna have to work with someone to help. I think change my medicine. So and that's something I probably will share on here as I do it because I think
it's relevant.
A lot of people, it's relevant, and a lot of people might have them same things where if a medicine's not working, or it is working but the side effects aren't working, or they're harmful. I feel like my health, if I keep gaining weight, it's going to be harmful to my health. So I have to figure something out.
Yeah, I know. I'm glad you're willing to share that journey because I do think it plagues a lot of people. And if not just the weight gain part, but just learning what medicines work with your body in certain situations, because people want to hear a live reality of it happening in real life, so they can watch and see, how it works for you so that they can gauge, maybe that's something I want to try or don't want to try, based on those results. So even though everybody's different, everybody's going to react differently. It's still nice to see watch somebody on their journey. I think it's really, really good. For me, for the new year, I would like to not give up because I'm not getting fast results in podcasting. I've always been an instant gratification type person. That's part of my personality that I realize. And that involves eating. That involves, everything. It's like when you start a diet, you want instant results, and it doesn't work like that. It didn't take you 1 second to gain it. It's not going to take you 1 second to lose it. So knowing I have that instant gratification type personality, this is a long journey to
Yeah.
podcasting. This is a long journey to success. And there is no instant gratification, which I think is actually teaching me to be more patient in the work and in the journey and in, you know, taking it all in reality and not a fantasy of it should happen right now. It doesn't happen right now. I hear about people podcasting for 7 years and they're like, they're just now getting out there. They've worked this whole time. They never gave up. Then I was listening to a Brooke Shields podcast. I have a kind of a connection with Brooke Shields, and my connection is as when I was younger, when I was like, 8 to 10, people always said I looked like her. We looked alike. And so I'm always like, oh, she's so pretty. That's what made me feel good inside when, as a kid, somebody said that. So I've always watched her. I've always enjoyed her. I've always thought she was extremely intelligent and so smart. And so she has a podcast. So I was like, let me just hear what it's about. And it's about the human connection. It's called What Next? So after these obstacles happen, it's like, what's next? What's going to hit you next? So I'm listening to that podcast and I love her message. And at the end, I hear about 10 to 15 names of all the people that are producing, editing, all of directing. And I'm like, holy crap.
Really?
She's got 10 to 15 people doing what I'm doing on, in this scenario. So I can't compare myself and our podcast to hers.
Right.
It wouldn't be realistic.
No.
So,
well, and how long has she been doing hers?
Not very long. She just came out with it.
But she's a global.
She's famous.
Yeah, she's globally famous. I mean, she's Brooke Shields. She's been around since the freaking 80s.
I know. So I know that.
You can't at all. Okay.
Just the output. But I can tell you right now, our output is equal. It is. The quality is good. The sound quality is good. I mean, I'm hanging and I'm kind of proud of that. So when I heard 10 to 15 people, I was just like, what the actual hell? I never expected to hear that. Never.
I didn't know it's that many either, but I believe it. Yeah, and definitely don't. I'm in it with you. I'll say that because I know it's going to take time. I have some of my favorite podcasts. I mean, they were famous people that I knew of, and I still did not find out about it until it had been out a long time, and they had already, over 100 episodes. And so I know that it's just, it's the long game with this. So
it's definitely the long game. And as long as, we're enjoying it and, it's 1 hour to 2 hours of our week, filming, then it works out. So that's my goal, is to not get discouraged and not feel like a failure if I'm not able to meet the numbers that I want to meet, and be okay with that, because I know that it will come. I just have to keep going and, go through the journey. Yeah. That's the whole process.
Yes. Nothing comes overnight. Nothing easy,
Yeah.
Nothing.
So I think on this episode, the final episode of 2023, for myself, I would like to say thank you to the people that have spent their quality time with us, because you don't have to. There's so many other things you could do, or people that you could listen to, and you've chosen to spend it with us. And that means more than you know. And we hope that you will follow us into 2024 as we get our footing and as we learn who we are as podcast hosts and, what you want to hear about. So, yeah. Do you want to share any words of parting for 2023?
No.
I almost choked. I got nothing.
No.
I'm sorry. That is so great. That sums up our co-hosting. I'm Bright Red. That is like perfection. Perfect ending.
Well, the reason. Okay, I'm going to tell you the reason why. The reason why.
Got nothing. I don't give a shit. Have a great year. I don't care about anything.
No. So, no, the reason is because now I do feel like I just phoned that one in.
What's the reason?
So because I'm doing it, the dates in my head, and I'm like, we still have, because like we said, this is pre-recorded. And I feel like, Christy, we're going to talk to the people again before New Year's
we're
comes.
not.
I think we're going to have, it might come out, the episode might come out.
Yeah.
But, wait.
What are you talking about?
Where are we at?
This is the 23rd of December that we're recording. The episode will air on...
The 27th.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
When else would we talk to anybody? If the next episode releases January 3rd.
So on January 3rd, we're not going to talk about the new year in 2023 at all?
We may. But that's what this whole episode's about.
Oh, well. I didn't know that. I thought we were just riffing here. So, I wasn't prepared for a 2023 talk.
We've covered everything that's happened in 2023. The whole thing.
But I was just rolling with it. I wasn't preparing a message for the end of the year. That's a big important message, Christy.
I'm sweating.
So, I'm going to just go with...
I'm sweating.
Nothing. I'm good. I'll see you in 2024, folks. Holler.
Okay, bye.
This episode of Code Green Plant was sponsored by Simply Vibin LLC. Code Green Plant is a Simply Vibin production hosted by Christy Chanel along with her co-host Phoebe James. This podcast is not intended to be used for medical advice and is solely the opinion of the host. Please consult your physician. If you enjoyed this episode, please be sure to hit that like and subscribe button, and don't forget to follow us on social media. Want more? Visit www.simplyvibin.com. And a special thank you to the core group of people who helped with the creation of the Code Green Plant podcast. We appreciate you simply vibing with us.
Code Green Plant.